been looking for a place that I'd rather be. I've been searching for my own destiny. I raise my gun to the sky and scream out loud. This is my life, this is my hope, this is what I stand for. Now it's the time to let it all. We are the young ones that fight for survival. We will watch like an eye on the fighter. We are the young ones that fight for survival. We will watch like an eye on the fighter. We will watch like an eye on the fighter. I've been looking for a place that I'd rather be. I've been searching for my own destiny. I raise my gun to the sky and scream out loud. This is my life, this is my hope, this is what I stand for. Now it's the time to let it all. We are the young ones that fight for survival. We will watch like an eye on the fighter. We are the young ones that fight for survival. We will watch like an eye on the fighter. We will watch like an eye on the fighter.
And away we go here for Xbox Division 3.
Still wheel to wheel coming out of turn 19.
Tries to go down the inside of Desio. Desio giving him space, but not by much.
Oh, and he's oversteered, and he's spun. They're side by side, off the track, neck and neck.
Good. Good evening, everyone, and streaming to you live from North America. This is PPR Season 2, race number 8 of 22. You've got Kermit in the booth tonight, ready to commentate the race for you, and Biggles hopefully will be joining us a little bit later. So, but before that, we're going to go ahead and walk you through what our drivers are going to be up against tonight. So they're at Baku City Circuit. This is in Baku, Azerbaijan, 26 laps total. Our target fastest lap time is going to be around a 1 minute 38.3. I suspect we may see some of our drivers surpass that tonight. We've got some idiot in the lobby who's been known to throw out some extremely fast lap times. So hopefully we will see that from him again tonight. So we've got 20 turns total, 8 to the right, 12 to the left. There we go. 8 to the right, 12 to the left. 6 laps on the softs, maybe 9 if you're feeling lucky. 16 laps on the medium and 20 laps on the hard. So that's what our drivers are looking at as far as circuit goes tonight. On to our team makeup. We've got Racing Point, we've got Getchum, and Some Idiot. Some Idiot been running away with the championship, currently in first in our drivers championship. Getchum down in 13th with 15 points, been able to score points pretty consistently this season, but not nearly on the level that Some Idiot has been. We've seen him be consistent from time and time again. Cream and Rogue are on McLaren. Cream, we've seen some great things out, currently 101 points in the drivers championship. Rogue, nowhere to be seen. Just kidding. In 7th with 41 points. McLaren, we've got Mercedes with Destiel and Danstas. Destiel being a force to be reckoned with from last season, but currently has not been able to put enough points on the board to outseat Cream, but he does reside number 3. Danstas, on the other hand, a relative newcomer, 12th position in the Drivers' Championship. Looking very nice. Hopefully we will see some big things out of him tonight. Red Bull, we've got Stoney, and we both got Shea B. Stoney running the highest he's ever been in PPR. Currently 5th, only 1 point behind Brownie in 4th. Stoney putting in some amazing results this season, and his teammate not too far behind him, 10th with 18 points, is Shea B. AlphaTauri, we've got Corsac and Hammer Time 44. Corsac has had about 10 points this season. Hammer Time 44, on the other hand, 48, placing him in 6th overall. Renault, we've got Capita Hood and Dr. McShorty. Capita Hood, 9th in the Constructors' Championship, way below where he was last season. I believe he finished 3rd or 4th. Dr. McShorty, on the other hand, doing well to put some points on the board. 7 points in 18th place currently. Nick and Double OT, both for Alfa Romeo. Both drivers have been very consistent this season. Hopefully we'll continue to see more of that out of them tonight. Simsbad and Buddha, both for Ferrari, with attendance issues. They have had trouble putting points on the board. Simsbad showing up more often. Currently has 14 points. Buddha, on the other hand, sitting all the way down, tied for 19th with Gore with only 6 points. So hopefully we'll be able to see them on track tonight, fighting for some points in Baku, one of my more favorite tracks. All right, we got Randoms and Gore both on Williams. That will be Randoms with 2 points to his name, and Gore with 6, tied for 19th with Buddha. Haas, we've got Ruda all by his lonesome. He currently is scoreless for the season, only joining us for a couple races so far. We'll see him join, hopefully have a teammate join sooner rather than later, help boost his score, and hopefully we'll see him finish in the points. The Drivers' Championship, here they are all stacked on top of each other. We got Some Idiot way out in front with 150 points. Cream clawing back that lead, though. Just 2 race wins away from passing Some Idiot with 101 points. Destiel, 66 points in 3rd. Brownie, 50 points in 4th. Stoney, 49 points in 5th. Hammer Time, 48 points in 6th. That's a fantastic, really it's a battle for 3rd, but a very, very close battle for 4th. Rogue with 41 points in 7th. Hugo's 36 points in 8th. Capita Hood just 1 point behind him in 9th. Shea B 18 points in 10th. Double OT 17 points in 11th. Danstas 16 points in 12th. Getchum 13th. Simsbad 14th. Red Hornet 15th. Corsac 16th with 10 points. Fluffy Dave 8 points in 17th. Dr. McShorty 7 in 18th. Buddha and Gore both tied with 6 points apiece in 19th. And then we've got Nick with 4, Randoms with 2, and then Terry, Ruda, Doc Block, Alexander, and Kublai all remain scoreless for the beginning portion of this season. Let's see if we can change any of that tonight. So we look at the Constructors' Championship. Of course, we're talking about Some Idiot on the team of Racing Point, hence they are doing so well, but they still have 165 points compared to McLaren's 142. So McLaren is definitely not down for the count as of yet. Some fantastic drivers on the McLaren team. I'd love to see them claw their way back. Mercedes is looking to make a comeback as well through the second, as we enter the second quarter of our season. We've got 82 points from Mercedes, 67 from Red Bull, 58 from AlphaTauri, 42 from Renault, 21 from Alfa Romeo, Ferrari with 20 points, Williams with 8, and Haas, no points as of yet, but Ruda, I know, would like to change that. So back to what our track is going to look like tonight. It's 26 laps total. Minute 38.3 is what we're going to be targeting for our qualifying pace. 20 turns total, 8 to the right, 12 to the left. 6 to 9 laps on the softs, 13 to 16 on the mediums, and 17 to 20 on the hards. This track is what we call a street circuit in Formula One. What that means is it's very fast through portions of it, and the walls are very, very close, typically faster than on a lot of other circuits. So things to look out for on this track: turns 8, 9, and 10. That's what we call the castle section. It's very tricky for our drivers to navigate this section without getting any damage. Other things to look for are the run up to the main straight. So that's turns 16 through 20. It's very important drivers get that right, because an accident there can really put them into the wall and hurt their race. But if they make a couple mistakes, you can potentially get lucky and lose a wing. However, next time you come around that same complex of track with less downforce, your front end's going to want to slide all over, and it's going to be very hard to not lose more of your wing or an axle. So be on the lookout for drivers struggling with that. I think we're from at least a few of our drivers are going to see a lot of pit stops, so I think it'll make for an interesting strategy. But I imagine we're going to be seeing probably a hard medium strategy out of a lot of our drivers. I mean, you could go hard soft, I suppose, but the medium soft is a little bit of a stretch. So with that, I'm going to see Biggles. Are you with us?
I certainly am. Welcome one, welcome all. Can you hear me okay?
On my end here. I can't hear Biggles.
You can't, Jam? Chickadee check,
Oh.
1, 2.
I can't hear you, but the stream can definitely hear you.
Check,
So
check,
Biggles,
check,
take it
check.
away. I'm going to figure this out.
Check 1, 2. Well, Baku, we are back in Baku, as you had mentioned there before. This street circuit, and it's long, and that definitely has that longer straight as well. That's the straight where I do honestly believe that these drivers do pull out their cell phones and they start Twitch chatting to their fans and YouTube chatting as well. Like, it's just all about the social media. They have the time, as well as that flat straight is just goes. But then, as you said, hook it up through the castle section, crush the castle, or not crash the castle, crush or crash. It does happen through there. It's tricky. I love that. That's my favorite part. Actually, one of my favorite corners throughout the F1 calendar, by all means. Hey, hello, Hennes. Good to see you out there too. And Funky Cactus, as well as James Lawrence there. So big shout out there. My boy's on here. Where is he? Some idiot there running in the racing point there. Buddha, Racer, Captain Hood. Oh, there's some familiar names here. Red Hornet, Hammer Time, Creamy, Dr. McShorty. He's doctoring in motor racing by Shaw, Shibi. Good to see all these drivers on the grid here. It's going to be fun. And I'm sure there will be a safety car at some point. Perhaps we do tend to see that. Am I coming through okay now from the pit lane? Well, actually, I'm going to come join it in the pit box, in the com box. I don't think Mr. Kermit can hear me. Have a look. Sounds like I'm okay. So, can you guys hear me out in Twitch world? I'm sorry, Twitch world, my bad. YouTube.
There we go. Now I can hear you, Biggles. Sorry about that. Yeah.
They keep me locked out of the comms room and stick me down the pit lane where it's hot and sweaty, and I have to chase Jeff around all day.
Well, we love having you in the booth over here at PPR. Hopefully we got a pretty good race lined up for our fans tonight. Here at Azerbaijan, Biggles, I don't know if you caught it, it's round number 8 of 22 this season. So we're getting into the thick of the season so far. It'll be interesting to see what our drivers are able to do tonight. Looks like we already had a Alfa Romeo around on the track. That's what I like to see.
Some idiot's the man, right, to beat at the moment. Isn't he leading the championship?
That he is. So way out in front with 165 points. Excuse me. That is McLaren's total. 150 points from Cream. So very close to, or Racing points total there. Just 15 points from his teammate there. Being contributed, Cream coming up behind him with 101 points. So be on the lookout for him tonight, looking to claw back some of those championship points. So if some idiot theoretically DNFs over the next 2 races, then and Cream wins both of them, he could potentially.
Well, but if he did that, he would be some idiot, wouldn't he?
That he would. That would be very impressive.
That's the first of my bad puns tonight. Don't worry, guys. There'll be plenty more to follow.
Creamy John setting a solid lap so far with a 1 minute 38.8. Some idiot with a 1 minute 38.3 responds almost immediately. We've got Destiel with a 140.0. Shay B comes in 4th right now with a 141.1. And Red Hornet with a fun 41.2. So we're getting, some idiot already at that 138.3 that we thought we might be seeing tonight. So there's only room for improvement here at Baku. Looks like Hammer Time is going to be finishing up his lap here, coming across the line. We'll see where he goes. Into 3rd fastest with a 139.4. The only driver in the 39s. Destiel remaining comfortably outside that right now, or just barely outside that with a 140.0. I know he's not going to be happy with that time, so be looking for another run from Destiel to come out and potentially improve on that. I think Destiel will be gunning for at least the top 3 in the grid, if not the top spot, if he can really hook up a lap.
Yeah, Destinal there, as you said, 140 there. So a little bit off the pace there. 1.6 seconds behind some idiot's fastest lap at the moment, provisional pole, but there's still plenty of time to go with 12 minutes as the track rubbers in a little bit. And obviously they get those banker laps done. But the medium tires would be interesting, but how far can he go on those mediums there? And I was going to say, yeah, it's a 6-kilometer track, so it's long. Only about 1 kilometer less than the longest track, which is, guess it is, Spa. So, and it looks like Rogue has just decided to rogue it too much in the castle section. He will be our first victim of the castle. It's just called the castle, too, the section. I believe that the castle is a tourist attraction. You can, if you have a chance there to go to Baku, you could visit that famous castle.
Yeah, there's a lot of pictures of it online, especially since it's a big tourist spot. A lot of people standing in that spot. And, I mean, it looks narrow when you're trying to drive a car through it, but it really looks narrow when you've got someone just standing in it. You can't imagine driving an F1 car straight through there. It's, you know, quite the daunting task as a driver to be looking from the right wall to the left wall. Or, well, left wall first on the apex, and then right wall on the exit, and trying not to hit it at... just trying to be so precise. And of course our drivers have to do it 26 times in the race without fail, otherwise they're going to have to pit probably more than they intended to. So that's, be on the lookout for that, because I think that's not going to be the first time or the last time we see that tonight, even though Rogue was the first to sustain a little damage there.
Yeah, definitely, you said it right. This is also the track. This track and Monaco are the tracks that the drivers tend to bring, the teams tend to bring at least 3 or 4 more front wings than they would usually pack in the containers when they fly out to these races. So plenty of carbon fiber bits to be lost and plenty of carbon fibers to front wings to be replaced by the teams. And that's something that whoever can manage to keep all those important, expensive parts on their car, then that'll give them a great shot at standing on the top step of the podium and tasting that champagne.
Absolutely. It's one of the portions of this track that really require that front wing is 16 through 20 there. It's probably the highest speed turns on the course. And of course, it all leads up and sets you up to the run down the straight. We're on board with Buddha here, who's currently on a hot lap. We're going to see him go through the complex shortly as he rounds turn number 15. Then on to 16, still on a flyer. Lap is still valid.
He's got personal best first and second. So looking good. 41 flat almost for the second sector now. If you can get a nice purple here for the third, he's going to be definitely challenging the top runners for a good qualifying position. So let's see if the Buddha can do this as he's in 8th gear. This is the point what I was mentioning earlier where they pull their phone out and just engage all their friends on social media. There's plenty of time to do that, and now get ready for braking.
141.2 from Buddha puts him 8th place on the leaderboard so far, only outpacing Red Hornet as far as drivers that have set a time on track right now. Captain Hood looking to set a time. He's currently on his out lap. It looks like actually may have invalidated his lap. Let's see if we dive.
I think Colaby, the Red Bull driver there, running in P10, he's setting a personal best for the first sector. Is he backing off? Yes, he is. I'm not sure why he's backing out. He's not set a time yet. Interesting.
Yeah, unfortunate from the Red Bull driver there, having to back out of the lap after doing one sector so much better is never a good feeling for these drivers. Double OT, interestingly enough, is the first driver to go out on the mediums, currently on his out lap. Be interesting to see where he's able to qualify on those, if he's able to go faster than he did on the softs. It seems unlikely to me. This track is just one where you requires a lot of the grip from those tires, and being on the mediums, you can't get around them quite as fast. I mean, cast section is a problem. You gotta take your entry to that a little more careful.
Well, the Mercedes driver there, running in P4, so I believe he said he's fastest. He's the fourth fastest time on the the fifth fastest time. The fifth driver there, double OT, yeah, as you mentioned, on those mediums.
Wow. Oh, so we already set those on the mediums? I didn't realize.
He did set those at 140.6 on those mediums. My telemetry's showing anyway.
Yep, absolutely. That's what we're seeing here too. So provided that's correct. Good time from him. Fifth, I think he's going to be pretty happy with. However, I think just about every driver that has yet to set a time probably could go faster than that on the soft. So if some of the other drivers decide that that strategy is valid, Double OT might just get away with it. But we'll be certainly watching the latter half of the field, which so far they have all opted for softs. We've got Captain Hood right now, who's just kind of trundling around the track on those softs. Looked like he did a couple out laps first to either rubber the tires in or maybe get the fuel. Well, obviously get his fuel level down, but he put a lot of fuel in the car to be able to go thus far.
I think somebody is about to go even faster, setting purple second sector, 39.2. If he can hook this up in the third sector, then he's probably might even be in the low 138s, even, if that's possible.
Goes into
somebody
the DRS
can make
realm,
it possible.
opens his wing, and he does go faster. Wow. 137.9, very fast. 4/10 faster than we thought we were going to see tonight. That is a very fast time from some idiot.
Not even with the fastest third sector, I believe, as well. So more pace to come from the pink Mercedes.
Rogue, the first casualty of the night in that castle section, not able to make it through without an incident. He will be out of qualifying starting in 14th.
Yep, I guess he won't be knighted anytime soon by the king of the castle at the moment. And at the moment, it looks like the king of the castle is going to be some idiot. Unless anybody can bring it there. Let's go look. Captain Hood now on his first flying lap, but actually go a little bit ahead of him. Oh, no, actually, that's an out lap, but still improving. But yeah, Captain Hood, can you hook it up? No, he's invalidated, so he still has to get a lap time in the books, and he doesn't. So who else is on a flying lap? Nobody else really improving on their times. They are in flying laps, however, but they're invalidating their laps. So got to get it done again. And it's a long track. Takes some time, as you know, almost 1 minute 40 around here. So got to let those tires cool down. If they box and put some new fresh boots on, this is probably the time to do it.
Captain Hood into the pits, decides, that invalidating his last time. You're going to need new fresh set of tires. Meanwhile, Racer 33 made the decision to go out on those mediums. Is going to try and challenge Double OT for the fastest medium time. The way it's looking right now, only three drivers will get free choice of, well, 4 drivers will, but only 3 drivers have yet. Let's see, there will be 3 drivers besides Rogue, that's what I'm trying to say, that will have free choice of tire on the start because they will be starting 11th or further back on the grid. Of course, top 10 locked into the tire that they set the fastest lap time on. So currently, Double OT is locked into those mediums, but there are quite a few people behind him that have to go faster to ensure that he won't be starting on those tires.
Yep, shout out there, Nick Moore, in the YouTube chat there saying, "Let's go Double OT." So
Got some double
He's got
OT
the
in
fan
the
booth.
fans. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'd like to see that, especially when he's putting in such good laps on those mediums. We're going to follow along with Racer 33 now on his first lap of the session. What will hopefully be the first lap of the session. First one that counts anyway. Down the first straight. Gets the DRS activation. Goes quite
He gets
nicely
the
down there.
in his ear.
Lets him
Essentially
know
what
that
it
that
is.
wing is willing to open for him. Of course, that rear wing on the back of the car, for those of you that may not know, opens right up, allows a lot more air than it otherwise would to go through, and therefore increases your top speed. So drivers, when they're going through a section like this, like Racer 33 is now, you want as much downforce on that rear wing as you can. However, when you're trying to drive flat out in a straight line, that extra downforce will actually hinder how fast you're able to go. So, hence the use of DRS. So you be watching for that today in our DRS zones down the first straight just after turn 2. And then, of course, just as you cross the finish line, you get a little bit of DRS boost as well. Very useful for our drivers to overtake on this track. I see a lot of swaps in position happening around turn 1. Ooh, a little wide from Racer 33 there. Sticks it to the track still.
Colablele, whatever it is, pronouncing the name, it does not improve. A 143 for the Red Bull driver. So he's still got another lap to do if he wants to continue on those softs. They're a little bit worn, but he has no time to box and go back out again. So he's got to try to do whatever he can to get further up into the positions and keep Christian Horner happy, and also not be the number 2 driver, as his teammate Shibi is currently in 7th position.
Racer 33 with a 1 minute 43.1 on those mediums. Not quite able to go as fast as Double OT was. However, Double OT his current time set on the softs, it appears. So it looks like he switched over from those. He's at the very least going to set a time on them now. We'll see if he's got enough time to get around the track. With
Colby
2
has
minutes.
just brake checked the wall, and luckily he's won that battle against the wall and managed to just avoid the front of that carbon fiber. Saved another piece of front wing for his race, but that it will be his essentially if he can get back in time. His tires are probably cooked anyway, so it's going to be very difficult for him to improve now, unless he can pull something out of the bag. But I'd say that Red Bull driver might be in a lot of trouble, and he's going slow now anyway to let some drivers through some traffic. So, yep, that will be it for that red driver. Who else is improving? Nobody else is improving at the moment on the timing screen. So, lots of whites and reds. Those are not what the drivers want to hear. That's not what Jeff wants to hear, or the team bosses. They want to hear. So they want to see greens and not anything. They really want to see purples.
Absolutely, some idiot. Speaking of purple, we've got some idiot on a hot lap at the moment, trying to improve on his current pole position time. So he is provisional pole right now, looking to improve. Looks like he might have just set a purple sector 1, outpacing.
It was a green. It was a green, but however, he's like this. We got to remember this is the 3rd set now of these soft tires. He's done 2 laps on the first set, 2 laps on the second. He's one of the only drivers that have chewed through a lot of these softs, so he's not going to have many soft. It certainly won't have any fresh softs remaining in the race. So if he does box and have to put extra set of softs on, they will be worn softs at least for the qualifying.
I think this is a smart move from some idiot. At least looking at his pace right now, I don't think he would have too much of an issue throwing some mediums on during the race and being competitive. A little bit of a mistake there coming out of sector 2 around the 17th turn. Getting a little wide into the wall. Maybe
he's not going to improve. No, he's not going to improve at all. He's probably going to back out of this one and box, just giving us a little bit of, or giving the Racing Point team perhaps a little bit of on screen, as Creamy Johns goes P2 there, saying the fastest 3rd sector.
138.6. Nice 3rd sector from him. 3rd sector is pretty much all about turn number 16 there. That's really the last turn before you're able to just open the throttle wide and run it down to the finish line. We've got Capita Hood currently going to be setting a time. Looks like we've got a few other drivers on some hot laps as well. Ruda, I think, will be the first to cross the line. Nope, he's pulling off to the side here, trying to stay out of our other driver's way.
Further back, Doctor in the Red Bull, sorry, the Renault, Can he improve? Improved on his first sector, didn't so much on the second sector. I'm not quite sure if this is going to cut it to gain any more time. And he doesn't box, but I doubt he will improve. Does actually goes up to P5, not too bad. Let's go further back behind him. Double OT is looking to improve a little bit. Personal bests. What can he also do? It's going to be close as well because it looks like Decinol. Is that PRS Decinol? Is also looking to improve. Double OT goes up there. Let's go further back to P3. The currently P3, provisional P3. Oh, taps the wall a little bit. And P2 there for the Mercedes driver. So Decinol managed to trump Creamy right towards the end there.
Yeah, some very nice showing from Destiel there. I know he had the pace in him last season. He showed it week after week, but been struggling to get this car model underneath him this season. But hopefully, we're starting to see some of that go away. Him get a little more comfortable with his setups, with the car, and with the tracks, how they're laid out in this year's version of the game. So that's the pace we're very familiar from seeing from Destiel. Let's hope we see some of that in the race, because a 1:38.0 is only 1/10 of a second off of some idiot's pole time of 1:37.9. So very fast couple of laps from our drivers there, but it's not just about being fast in one line, it's about being fast time after time. So let's see what our drivers are able to do during the race here. Biggles, what are you hoping to see? Where are the exciting parts of the track for you here?
It's definitely the castle section, by far. That's where you see even the best of drivers making that error, just tapping that wall a little bit, losing that little end plate, and then have to either make that decision on the radio of, Jeff, do I box or do I stay out? How much time can I afford to lose? And also what's crucial is, where do you do it, where you are on the track, and what can potentially happen to the strategy as well. Because if you can hang out there for a few laps with that damage and still keep the pace and a safety car is deployed or everybody else is boxing, then you could suffer that little bit of 5 or 6 seconds that it costs you to change that front wing.
Oh, definitely. And that's, I imagine we're going to be seeing, how many drivers do you think we'll see pit 2 times or more during this race? So in theory, the tires will support you doing a 1-stop, but you could do either a 2-stop for a soft, medium strategy just to be safe, even though I feel like that's a little overkill, or you could be pitting to change your wing. How many drivers do you think will pit over 2 times this race?
Over 2 times, I think, will be generally because of damage, or perhaps trying the overcut and the undercut, depending if they're stuck in traffic or if they have an early incident where they had to drop off. And, you know, if you see the front runners drop and make a little mistake and it costs them and they start fighting in the midfield and they get held up, then they might choose to box and take an alternative strategy, which also spices the race up. So it's definitely going to be a 2-stop and, 1-stop, or 2-stop, or even a 3-stop, depending on damage, and that's the key. So, and I've been asked that too when I'm race engineering drivers. Are like, "What's the strategy?" I'm like, "Well, we're going to play with strategy A, but there's strategy B, C, and D even, depending on what the situation is with the race and how the driver is performing, and whether there's damage and safety cars and so forth." So, and also being a very, very long track as well, you can get caught out easily with the safety car if you've already crossed into the first sector, and the safety car is deployed, so the cars behind you in the third sector can dive into the pits.
Absolutely, especially when that safety car first comes out, all drivers are required to meet a maximum lap time, so they have to stay slow enough in order to not have their delta go, what is it? Yeah, you don't want it positive, right? So you don't want to be gaining time on the lap that they've set out that you should be doing under the safety car. So normally this track, while long, the lap time isn't the longest we'll see on the calendar, because a 1:38-ish, because of that long straight. A lot of it is taken just so flat out. However, safety car comes into a huge comes in as a huge factor when you're talking about that straight, because if you have to keep your time below the delta, or excuse me, your delta in the negative, you have to slow down that much more down that whole length of straight. That's where the length of this track can really hurt you. It helps you in passing into turn 1, but it definitely could hurt you under safety car. So I imagine that to play a factor in probably one or more of the racers' strategies we're going to see tonight is a safety car. We've got some really good drivers on the grid here, but I have a hard time believing that we're going to see all 14 of these drivers go 26 laps around Azerbaijan with no assists and not see any incidents. And as I say that, Hammer Time spins around into the wall on the formation lap. Looks like he's able to get it going the right direction again. It's going to go ahead and catch up. Will get a chance to warm up his tires still. He's not going to be automatically teleported back to the grid. However, he is out of position right now. He'll be brought back to the correct position upon return to the grid. So I imagine we're going to see a lot of that tonight. Drivers may be getting a little too heavy on the throttle on corner exit. The back end slipping out on them, whipping around, and potentially we may even see a few snapped axles. I don't wish it upon anyone, but it's a very common mistake to be had here at Azerbaijan.
Yeah, Hennes said he Grosjeaned it, and Hennes actually didn't Grosjean it. He Max Verstappened it. I believe Max Verstappen was the last driver that managed to damage his car under the formation lap. So, but luckily these drivers, luckily for the teams, they don't have to quickly try to repair all the damage on those cars. And also, yeah, the DRS is going to be a main importance on that down straight. And another thing as well, too, is that under safety car conditions, we do see a lot of collisions. So let's let these drivers form up on the grid and you can get ready to take it away there, sir, Mr. Kermit.
That's true. Safety car with each passing year gets a new way of interacting with the game, really. They're always trying to update it, but sometimes that puts some weird things in the safety car, makes it do some weird things, and that we'll definitely be looking at that tonight, keeping an eye on it closely. However, it could be just left up to the drivers. So the drivers pull up to the grid. We've got lights. We've got 4 of them, and we've got 5. And they are out, and away we go here at Azerbaijan. Race number 8 of 22 here. The Ferrari immediately into the wall. Looks like Red Hornet dropping positions, dropping back. Some idiot way out in front as of yet. Destiel able to hold on to his second position. Double OT gaining quite a few positions up into 4th. Battling for 3rd with Creamy Johns. He's going to like where he's at, I'm sure. Hammer Time dropping back to 5th. Dr. McShorty 6th. Shay B 7th. Buddha 8th. Kublai 9th. Red Hornet 10th. Capital Hood 11th, Rogue 12th, Ruta 13th, and Racer 33 14th. Not able to pick up quite any positions. Nice race start from Double OT here. We've seen him hanging out in the 4th spot. Yellow flag for Sector 1. Looks like the Red Hornet, the Ferrari, went around, able to get it going in time that it's not going to trigger a safety car. Running order, some idiot, Destiel, Creamy Johns, and Double OT out in front. No 1-second gaps have formed except for Capita in the midfield in 9th. As I say that, we're starting to see some 1-second gap open up. Ooh, back wing missing from Double OT's car there. I haven't seen that yet. Piece of the back wing fall off through the castle section there. He's gonna have to pit, I imagine, to repair that damage. Definitely missing a front end plate, but I thought I saw something fall off the back as well. Looks like we've got more drama in the castle section with Rogue in the McLaren and Red Hornet in the Ferrari. Both drivers going quite slow through there, and there we go. We've got Capita Hood around. No, looked like, no, it's the Red Bull of Kublai. Went around at the second to last turn. McLaren still going very slow at the end of Sector 3. Looks the Ferrari of Buddha is going to be challenging the Red Bull of Shay B any minute here. Just the slipstream down the straight may be enough for him to get the pass done. If he can keep it within striking distance, he'll be able to get the DRS advantage every lap. But Shay B and Buddha are both within striking lanes of Dr. McShorty. Buddha with the late braking, getting closer to Shay B and Dr. McShorty. Shay B looking to challenge, but can't quite get it there. He's going to try around turn number 2. Buddha goes down the inside. Shay B does a good job of giving him some room. Dr. McShorty loving the battle that's going on behind him because doesn't have to worry about the drivers coming up to him quite as quickly. Racer 33 coming out of the pits currently. Quite a few drivers in the pits, including Ruta, Kublai, and Rogue at the moment. Other than that, we've got a very close battle in the midfield here with Dr. McShorty, Shay B, and Buddha. Dr. McShorty leading the battle of 3 at the moment, while the AI figures out the timing screen here. They don't currently, don't think Racer 33 is in first. I'd be very surprised at that. But other than that, our top drivers running pretty close together overall. There we go. Now it is back to normal and looking like it's supposed to as the intervals start to populate. We've got Destiel on a tear to catch up with some idiot after letting him get a 1.4 second gap at the start. A left side lockup from Destiel. Both tires going around the second to last corner there. You can see he can still see some idiot pretty close to him. I imagine that will be close enough to get some of the slipstream off of some idiot. So we'll be looking for that speed boost right down the straight, provided he is able to excuse me, provided he's able to close that gap by 0.4. He's going to get the DRS advantage as well, but not doing too bad to just stay at the current gap and keep the dream alive. Some idiot goes faster yet with a 142.3 with the fastest lap time. DRS is now enabled, so we'll be watching those rear wings of the cars within 1 second of the car ahead of them. They're going to be opening, allowing for less downforce and by extent higher top speed as Capita Hood is looking to make a challenge on the Ferrari of Buddha. Goes around the inside, gets clipped, and Capita goes around. I don't know if he sustained any damage there. Looking at Capita, he's able to get it facing the right way again and off. He is. I don't think he sustained any damage, but that's not going to be good for his... As Dr. McShorty gets run into the back of, Shea B just almost punts him right into the wall. Shea B giving Dr. McShorty some wing damage for that, so Shea B wanted to give the position back, as rightfully he should, but Dr. McShorty just having trouble getting around the corners from the lack of front downforce. We've got Shea B and Buddha both challenging Dr. McShorty, going to be all over him for this wing change. I think Dr. McShorty's choice now is to pit, grab a new wing, throw on the set of hards, and hope they bring you 23 laps instead of the 20 that they're rated for. That's going to be hard to rank in the point scoring positions, only having done one pit stop. But really, you have to do it. You can't make any extra pit stops for wing damage, and a double medium strategy at this point gets you way over target. So it'll be interesting to see what Dr. McShorty does, but it's almost a sure thing that he pits this lap. We've seen quite a few pits from our drivers so far for a lot of reasons, including Damage, Rogue, Kublai, and Ruda, all among them currently at the back of the grid. Let's watch here and see how late Dr. McShorty says he's going into the pits here. He's going to leave it till the last second. Already lines up to the left. Makes it pretty clear his intentions to go into the pit. Buddha runs right into the back of him.
In the box, there's a box battle. And Buddha is retired. There's also a virtual safety car caused by a car that went very slow there. I believe that was P13 Rogue. So what happened there in the pit stop entry battle?
We were riding along with Buddha. I think Buddha was trying to capture the slipstream, wasn't paying attention to where Dr. McShorty was going, ran right into the back of him. So virtual safety car here. Dr. McShorty is going to love that as his car just disappears down the pit lane. He's actually going to like that a lot. For having to change his wing, it doesn't get too much better than that, having the virtual safety car out during your whole pit stop. Only loses a few places, now down to 8th.
Big gainer from this early start on lap 4 now. Essentially 3 great laps of racing and only 1 retirement just recently. Captain Hood there up 5 places into P7. Double OT dropping just the 1. Shea B gaining 2 positions there. His teammate there, Kurbali, getting 2. Red Hornet had dropped all the way down, remember, almost last there, and has worked his way back up into P10. Not a bad recovery drive. Got past a couple of drivers as well I was watching on board with the in the backfield there. And his teammate, unfortunately, Buddha, that was also, you saw there battling it out there, I believe with Racer 33 and so forth, has now retired from this session. So the Ferrari have lost 1 and they still have another. But there's still a lot left in this race. But they also have a Red Hornet, I believe, had boxed. So you see everybody essentially running from P8 down to P13 have boxed, but everybody ahead of them have not.
Ruda and Rogue, the first in the race with 2 stops apiece. Already to stop once at this point, Dr. McShorty, Kublai, Red Hornet, and Racer 33. And add double OT to that list as well as he dives into the pits. Let's see what he is having done this time around. Definitely gets a new set of tires. Looks like he's going to put on the hards. And there's the new wing that we've been saying we're going to see so much of
safety
tonight.
Car.
Full-blown safety car. What happened there? I don't see any.
21. Where's that? That's Ruda.
Looks like some idiot will be coming up on him. I wonder if they'll have the car cleared by the time he gets there. But our first full blown safety car of the night. Imagine, just watch to see a lot of drivers dive into the pits here. Dr. McShorty being one of them. Not pitting too many laps ago, but deciding to pit again.
This is going to help these drivers at the back here, as now it looks like P11 will P11 box. That's Racer 33. He does. It's a free pit stop. These guys are so far ahead right now. Next car down the track is car 24, the McLaren. Sorry, I don't have the telemetry up there. That's P12 of Rogue. So Rogue, who already boxed the lap earlier, essentially
Rogue just got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. He's not going to like that one. So I think any advantage he might have gained there from the safety car positioning him well, I think he's going to lose from that drive-through penalty.
Let's have a look at the moment. Captain Hood looks very good, and look at Double Over T. Actually looks like, and Double Over T and Red Hot, it looked like they're in great positions. They have those fresh, hard tires on, and if I'm not mistaken, can make them go to the end. And also, if Captain Hood can make those medium tires 4 laps, but these leaders are in trouble. Sorry, Captain Hook does need to box, as some idiot boxes now, and he should see a little train behind him occurring as they're all listening to Jeff's advice. Yes, they are. Creamy Johns and Hammer Time boxes. There's the top 4 boxing. Will she be a little further back there, box as well? That's the Red Bull driver. I'm looking at the map there. Yes, he does. And behind him, which is Captain Hood, yes, he does. So there's the pit stop. Who's put Inters on? Oh, he's retired.
Destiel.
Oh, that's what. Yeah, Destiel's realized he's made a disastrous mistake, and I've seen this before from drivers. They've accidentally chosen the wrong tires, and I think at this point he's gone, oh dear, I've chosen those Inters, and he's just decided to retire from the race. But I think it's a little too early there, sir. Even though if you've made a little crucial error, or shall we say Jeff or the team have made an error, you can still race. You know, there could be a chance of many more safety cars, and you could easily gain a lot of points and positions. But maybe he's just upset with the team for calling a bad decision with the tires.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Destiel stay in this one, because look at how many drivers are on the medium. I don't think it's out of the question for Destiel to go onto the hards and take advantage of these medium runners having to pit in the not so distant future. Medium's rated to go 16 laps, so we need to get to lap 16 under the safety car.
Well, he went on the Inters, remember, accidentally. But even if at the moment, if he did happen to stay on those Inters for the 1 lap under the safety car, I believe that the safety car will not be in any, at least for a lap. So you could probably box again, put the correct tires on, and at least be at the back of the pack, which means you'll only essentially be less than 10 seconds off the lead.
Yeah, I think that was a rash decision by Destiel there. I can't blame him. That can be very frustrating to do, especially when you have such a high chance of competing for the top spot like he did. I mean, he was running all the way up in second, and it had to be just devastating as soon as he seen those tire blankets come off, the intermediates green walled tire come out, go on the car, and then he was released. Unfortunately, didn't realize it before he took off. No reversing down the pit lane, so yeah, he would have had to go all the way around again. But yeah, I think he still could have made it, caught up to the back of the pack. I definitely would have liked to see that from Destiel, but unfortunately another titan of the race falls. So now it's really down to Creamy Johns to challenge some idiot, at least as far as paces we've seen. I'd like to see, I think what Creamy Johns needs to do is get a really good start off the safety car here and pass some idiot early. Some idiot's shown that he's got the pace to outpace Creamy Johns, but Creamy Johns has shown to be a very, very tough defender of positions throughout the beginning part of the season here. So I'd like to see what some idiot has to say about the way Creamy Johns drives and defends his position, especially at a race like Baku. With walls so close, it's not that hard, or as hard as it is on some tracks, say France, to make your car wide enough that another car isn't going to want to mess with you. So wide enough, I mean, if you're using the track space well, it's going to be very hard for another car to put their nose on one side of you or the other, because there's a wall right there. They get a little too close, you get a little too close to them, end plate might be taken off by either driver's tire or the wall itself. So it's very risky here, especially on corner exits, to be trying to put your nose in places. But you'll see the way a lot of our drivers brake, they'll tend to try and do that, and that's what ends up getting their front wing in a lot of trouble. I'll find is they definitely don't want to cede the right to the apex on turn in, even if they're not quite ahead of someone. They don't want to let up the dream of their nose and maybe front tire being alongside the other car. But in typical racing rules, and what I've seen the stewards rule, is that's not enough of your car to be alongside the other one to have that to have right to that apex. So you will see that a lot, I'm sure, especially when we get into the tight packed racing here. So we've got 2 safety cars so far as of last season, I believe 5.
Well, just the one virtual.
Oh right, one virtual safety car, 1 regular safety car. 7
yeah.
laps in, that's not so bad. I imagine we'll see the rate come down a little bit, because now 3 less drivers on the track, down to 11 drivers.
Let's look at the biggest gainer here, Captain Hood. 7th positions he's gained, and that's the Renault driver running in P5 at the moment. And I think his strategy call has been almost spot on. He could possibly make in these conditions as well. So he also will be on the hard tires, even though the top 3 are running on the mediums. He made that call a little earlier there. Also boxed again, which I'm not quite sure why. If I was in Jeff's position, I probably would have kept him out on track and had track position. However, he felt that he wanted to box. He only did where is it? No, Captain Hood was on the my bad. He was on the 5 laps on the mediums, but it could have gone probably a lot further on the mediums and kept the track position. But anyway, gaining 7th positions and up to P5 is good. Hammer Time gaining 2 positions. Creamy Jump's getting 1. Double OT staying in the same spot he qualified in, P4. Another gainer, Shebi in the P6 there. Red Hornet starting and building. Actually, not too bad recovery drive from Red Hornet as well, because he dropped all the way back. But now he's back up to P7 where he started the race. Dr. Mashorty dropping 2 positions. Rogue gaining 9. So even though that mistake, as you saw there, I think it was shooting during the castle section, he'd recovered after boxing and fixing some damage and back up to P9. That's good to see. That's why you never give up, because you're in the points again. Racer further back there, and Curlaby is back in the box again for the other Red Bull driver.
3 stops for both Racer 33 and Kublai now. That will definitely put them behind. I think Racer 33 will be able to catch up to the back of the pack before the safety car releases them. So actually not too terrible from Racer 33 for having had 3 pit stops. Of course, being on those hard tires is good. Oh, as Racer 33 takes a hard left turn into the wall, snaps off an end plate of his wing, not able to get those hards quite up to temperature enough to give him traction out of the corner there. As I say that, the commentators curse. As I was just saying, Racer 33 had a chance to catch up to the back of the pack, but he's going to find that a lot harder now. With that much wing missing, even going through the castle section with this low speed is going to be tough, but he makes it out okay. Racer 33 going to be pitting again. He's going to run out of tires here soon. This will be his 4th time in the pits. Jeff is going to run out of tires to give him at this point.
Yeah, the team safety car is going to be in this lap. I was wondering if that one might have been a strategy call. Sometimes I've seen it before. Drivers do it to try to slow, potentially keep the safety car out for another lap, because we still have 2 cars that have not caught the pack. However, if I have decided, no guys, you can't do a Fernando Alonso here, we're going to be underway and racing, and now they're backing up and somebody has to do it all over again.
Some idiot's job is to hold the pack back, and then when he decides to go, the rest of the pack can go. But there's no overtaking until the start-finish line. But as of right now, the driver's getting very, very bunched together. Some idiot takes off, decides to go, gets a little bit of a jump on Creamy John's, but I think he's going to be able to fight back for that position. Hammer Time, on the other hand, is looking very good, is going to be able to close that gap to Creamy John's, or at least keep it consistent at about 0.3 of a second. Further back in the pack, we've got Capita Hood looking to join the mix in the top 5. Shea B letting a little bit of a gap form between Capita Hood there. All drivers making it through the first few turns okay. We got quite a few very close gaps. We got a nice battle for 7th forming here between Dr. McShorty, Rogue, and Red Hornet, who's currently holding down the 7th spot. Other than that, we have a nice battle for 4th going on right now between Double OT, Capita Hood, or Shay B, and Shay B. Creamy John's just 1.1 seconds away from Some Idiot. Of course, 3 laps left till the DRS is activated again after the safety car restart. Hammer Time, though, looking to stay within that DRS activation zone of Creamy John's, is going to be hopefully able to do that until it gets activated again. Racer 33 did pit, not looking too worse for the wear, still on the lead lap and over half a lap away from being lapped, so I think he'll be all right for the time being, but he's got a lot of work to do. Hammer Time 44 looking very good here. Gonna give Creamy John's a run for his money. Creamy John's letting the gap grow to 2 seconds between himself and Some Idiot. Some Idiot, provided no mistakes, is really gonna start to run away with this race, especially on his mediums there, fresh mediums. Again, the same mediums that Creamy John's and Hammer Time have. So as of right now, I think if you're Some Idiot, you're very excited to see that gap growing the way that it is. Hammer Time.
So Doctor gets past Red Hornet there. It moves up to P7. Red Hornet's falling into the clutches then of Rogue, who has those medium tires. So those hard tires are just not working at the moment for the Ferrari, and Rogue knows it. The Doctor knew it a lap earlier. So the Ferrari driver is going to be under big pressure right now. They're from Rogue, but Rogue actually boxed, so he's not under so much pressure. But you can see the pace difference between those mediums and the hards, as you mentioned just earlier before.
Yeah, assuming that Rogue needed a new wing there. Only 5 laps on those mediums. He's not going to be happy to trade those in. They've still got a lot of life left in him, but I expect we're going to see the hards now. He's going to need to get to the end of the race, and 20 laps on those hards is looking pretty good. If he's got another set of mediums, those will get him potentially to the end of the race. Although Rogue looks like he came out with the same tires on. I didn't know that was possible. Oh, that might have been his drive-through that he had.
Look at further ahead, the Renault driver of Captain Hood that I mentioned earlier before. The biggest gainer from the safety car. He's backing up behind Double OT. Double OT is forming a bit of a train there. Captain Hood and also She Bee are almost equally behind within the DRS range there, with the Doctor and then catching this pack as well. So Double OT is essentially destroying the race from the other 3 drivers now behind. Perhaps, I'm not sure if that is a strategy call from... No, it wouldn't be actually. It's Double OT because Captain Hood and Doctor are on the same team. So Double OT there is falling back from Hammer Time, and Captain Hood needs to know he gets past, and Shebe's now dropped a little bit back down more into the other Renault driver. So a little bit of a play here for P5, P6, and P7.
Dr. McShorty would be looking to score more points for Renault if they weren't happy enough with the 5th already. I think, provided these drivers can pull it together to the end of the race, Renault would be very happy with a 4th and 6th, but I think they could even get 4th and 5th depending on how Dr. McShorty's pace stacks up to Double OT's. But Double OT is definitely going to be looking to give Capita Hood a run for his money. Doesn't quite get the job done into turn 1. Both Renault drivers
the captain got the job done. Yep, the captain's delivered. He's sent him to the gallows, or shall we say? What do you call it on a ship when the captain sends you to? I can't remember what that's called.
The gangplank? Walk the plank?
No, not the plank. The other one where you send them to the...
What? The galley?
To the little... Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember what it is. Let us know there on YouTube what it is. Get us some history lessons there. The captain's done it. Double OT's dropping back to P5. And who else there? Hammer Time is now putting on the Hammer Time behind Creamy John. So that's 3rd place, Hammer Time. But they're on equal tires, so that's going to come down to pure driving skill at this point.
Looks like Hammer Time is the closest on track to passing someone behind Creamy John's right now. Double OT, Shay B, and Dr. McShorty all extremely close to that DRS range. Double OT just sitting outside it, gonna try and claw that back from Capita Hood, but Capita is gonna try and close his own gap to Hammer Time, being successful in doing that so far. Capita Hood really liking his pace on those hards right now, being able to close the gap even a little bit this early on the car in front that's on mediums is pretty big. Capita Hood obviously struggling at certain points of the track here, falling back ever so slightly, but Dr. McShorty getting ever closer to Shay B, or as Kublai looks like he is ghosted right now, sitting in one of the pull-off areas as the... What was that? Rogue goes around in the castle section. He's backing up down the track. Looks like he might have ran into the wall there.
Trying to get out of the way. Doesn't need to get out of the way. The leaders are now approaching the 2nd corner, so plenty of time. Lucky to get caught out too much for that reverse.
Yeah, he
The
got
FAA
lucky
did
there.
not like that.
No, they won't. I don't know what else you do there. I mean, he was already in a runoff area, but I don't know that that one's wide enough to spin the car around. Safety car. Yellow flag. Wow, full safety car came out for that. I mean, I don't necessarily think that was the wrong call at the time, because you've got a car reversing down the track, or a car stopped backwards in the track in the castle section. So I think a safety car was probably warranted when it was called. However, the driver was just able to recover it. So now it seems a little redundant.
I wonder if that is a potential glitch in the game. If you can bring out a safety car by doing that. Interesting. That's something the FAA needs to investigate, because I've not seen that before. A car, he's still in control of the car. It's not ghosted. We're on board with Rogue and the McLaren there, P10, that had kind of visited the castle, and he was denied entry into it, and thus he's having to box right now. But yeah, absolutely no front wing, but did not block the track. So what is going on with that?
Yeah, surprising that it would have called a safety car here. It looks like it's gonna let both Kublai and Rogue pass, which is nice. It's there's a safety car there, just parked right down at the first straight there, waiting for our leaders, who have about half a lap to go yet, especially under safety car speed. It's going to be a little bit. I think we're probably going to see the race get underway again around probably lap 14 or so. I could see it. I mean, hopefully everyone catches up and we're able to get racing again. I guess it's probably got to go around one full lap. I've never seen it go in on the same lap it comes out. So once we complete that, that'll be lap 14 and 15. Yeah, so green flag, we're potentially looking at lap number 16. Then you're flirting with the line of the softs being viable. Softs will go 9 laps. So if a driver can potentially get those on the car, looks like some idiot's going to stay out, but everyone else behind him's going to pit. Some idiot was not expecting that. Hammer Time, Capital Hood, Double OT, and Creamy John's all onto the mediums. I don't think some idiot's going to be very happy with himself there, because that's going to be very tough to come back from. Fighting all of those cars behind him on those fresh mediums.
Who did you say, sorry, was having to do that? I got a little confused in that one.
Some idiot stayed out on his medium, so he's got 6
Oh,
lap
he stayed out.
mediums.
Sorry, I thought you said he boxed. I was like, he's showing P1, so unless I'm seeing something. Codemaster's doing tricks on the Biggles.
No, everyone else boxed all the way down to P8. It looks like Dr. McShorty just kind of got caught out there. He's got 1 lap on those mediums, so I think it was just his time to pit anyway, for tires or otherwise. But Shea B and Red Hornet behind him, both on the fresh mediums as well. That's right, Dr. McShorty had passed the pit lane entrance. Shea B and Red Hornet were positioned perfectly to dive in there. Racer 33 and Kublai both staying out, because I think they're just happy to close the gap at this point, along with Rogue. I don't know that they wouldn't try and get, looks like Kublai actually might have heard what I was saying.
Again, I'm not quite sure. He just once he's gone to the softs. He wants to visit his. He's retiring.
Unfortunate from Rogue there. Yeah, decides he just doesn't have any left in him today.
I thought he was missing his teammates there, and wanting to see if he can crack a fresh Heineken 0% alcohol beer and get back out on the track, but he is not going to do that. So you don't drink and drive. Well, you don't drink and drive. You can drink alcohol, water, and everything else, but definitely retirement there from the McLaren driver. That perhaps caused the safety car. I keep saying Captain Hood there. My apologies. It's Capital Hood. I think that's why you might get confused. Now he's up in a P3. So, and obviously with those fresh tires just behind Hammer Time. So he's gaining and gaining and gaining. I wouldn't be surprised if the Capital could capitalize on a victory in this race.
Nice one there. I would be interested to see the same thing as well. Hammer Time starting from 3rd when some idiot did the restart last, so he had a pretty good view of how some idiot handled the last one. Hopefully that gives him a little bit of an edge on this one, and if it gives him enough of an edge, he's going to be able to get the jump on Hammer Time and potentially, Hammer Time's going to be able to get the jump on some idiot and potentially keep that lead. Really all depends on how some idiot restarts the race here. He's definitely got the pace to be way out in front, but does he have the pace on tires that are 7 laps older. I have a feeling we're going to see some idiot maybe pull away from the pack for the next 5 or 6 laps or so. But then I think once his mediums start getting older, towards the end of the race, that 7-lap difference in age is really going to start showing a difference in our lap times toward the end. So be on the lookout for that. JB, Red Hornet, I think, are also positioned to do very well. Kublai retires from the session after pitting onto the softs. I was just about to say, I was excited to see where his race was going, because being on the softs right now, I think, is a pretty viable strategy. If I were Racer 33 right now, I might consider pitting onto a pair of softs if I have them left, provided the safety car isn't going in this lap. I haven't seen any indication.
Should definitely be in this lap. They're bunched up there. So look at somebody that's pace there. He hasn't had much of a chance to prove his pace on those mediums, because a lot of the times they've been under safety car conditions or slower conditions. 142.6 has been his fastest time. That was lap 10. So, and he hasn't really had much of a chance. So let's have a look at, that was a 142.6 I said. Let's have a look at the driver behind him. 143.6 was the fastest time on the mediums.
Got confirmation from race control. Safety car is in this lap. Safety car coming up on the pit lane, but some idiot gonna have to be careful not to start releasing the other drivers before the safety cars into the pit.
And then if we can come back to that later, there was a race that had occurred, I believe it was an IndyCar or something, where somebody had stolen the safety car and had driven it around the track, but we'll go back to that later.
And they're off. Some idiot gets a really good start, already half a second ahead of Hammer Time, but Hammer Time gonna show just how much more grip his tires have as Captain Hood into third, battling with Double OT, or Captain Hood retaining third, I should say. Double OT looking to get a piece of that, but can't quite do it. Captain Hood falling back from Hammer Time. Hammer Time, hot on the heels of some idiot, is gonna try and get that slipstream and make the pass, coming down the first straight here. Hard on the brakes, some idiot with a bit of a lockup that's going to wear on his tires a lot faster than if he would otherwise not lock them up. But Hammer Time making a bit of a mistake as well and locking his up. So that extra grip he has currently may not stick around for long if he keeps treating the tires that way. A really nice battle for first even right now. Very close gaps between all of our drivers. Dr. McShorty starting to fall back, but Creamy Johns, Double OT, Capital Hood, Hammer Time, all very much in the running to take over first place, provided either someone makes a mistake or some idiots mediums start to meet that cliff. So some idiots starting to pull away from the pack that is Hammer Time, Capital Hood, Double OT, and Creamy Johns, form a little bit of a gap, but that is while his mediums are 8 laps old. Keep in mind, they're only rated to go 16, so he's about half of what you would want to do on those in the race. So right now, I think some idiot's job is to get over a second ahead and try and maintain that gap. Any more than that, he risks wearing out his tires in such a way that he may not be able to keep up with the newer medium runners. Shaby and Red Hornet both doing well, but not gaining any positions on Dr. McShorty, who has the 1 lap old harder.
Captain Hood lining up a pass on Hammer Time. This is for P2. This could look easy down that main straight, and DRS is still not enabled yet.
Gets along the outside of him there. Hammer Time gonna stay ahead through turn number 2. Captain Hood goes way on the inside, maybe gives Hammer Time a little bit of a bump there, and then opens the door for Double OT as well. Causes a yellow flag in sector 1. Dr. McShorty does. Drops all the way down to 9th for the Renault.
And meanwhile, his teammate, Dr. McShorty, the other Renault driver, as Capital Hood gains, Dr. McShorty drops down to P9. So that little squabble further down has gained something for the Renault and also lost something. Also the battle there between Hammer Time, and you can also see Red Hornets trying to put pressure on the back of Shibi. That's still there. Creamy Johns behind Hammer Time, also wanting to get past that position there. But yeah, that's something that Hammer Time has lost 2 positions essentially in 1 corner.
Yeah, very rough from Hammer Time there, but I don't blame the other drivers for wanting to get past him so badly. He wasn't closing the gap to some idiot, so they said, move out of the way, let me have a crack at it. Capital Hood might be able to do it on those 2-lap old mediums. We will wait and see, though. Capital Hood doing very well to put a gap on Double OT behind him. 1.4 seconds is that gap, and therefore it's going to make Double OT's job a lot harder because he's got both Hammer Time and Creamy Johns knocking on the back door, looking to take that from position from him. Red Hornet still keeping Shay B under quite a bit of pressure. One false move from Shay B, Red Hornet may just take 6th from him. Still, our top 3, 4th, and 5th, excuse me, 3rd, 4th, and 5th are all very close, and it's anyone's race at this point. Creamy Johns has a very nice point of view of the battle here. Hammer Time getting very close to the back of Double OT, finding it hard to meet that braking zone with the lack of downforce on that front wing, locking him up, but it's gonna need to keep that tire life intact for the rest of the race if he hopes to challenge Double OT in the later stages and even keep Creamy Johns from taking the position. Red Hornet still pressuring Shay B every turn along the way. This tells me Red Hornet's got the pace to get past Shay B, but Shay B, a fantastic defender. We saw it last race at Monaco. Shay B just keeping the car as wide as possible. Never really gives up his line, and the other drivers know that. They got to be careful around him. Therefore, you will find them really backing off in positions where Shay B kind of asserts his position into the racing line there. Creamy Johns, 0.8 of a second behind Hammer Time. Hammer Time, 0.9 behind Double OT.
Yep, sorry, I'm just finishing up a little chat there that I had with Jeff down in the pit lane there. So, at the moment, Capital Hood and somebody at different strategies there. So, apparently I've heard from the Racing Point team there that somebody is just in basically, what do you call it, economy mode, shall we say. He clicked that little economy mode button in the car there, but he's still putting in fast. Last lap of 142.7. Definitely at least a second faster than everybody else. Capital Hood knows it and wants to try to put as much pressure on because he has those fresher tires, and and obviously that's the call from the Renault driver as well, to try to put as much pressure as they can on. As you can see, this little battle here, still behind Double OT with Hamilton and Creamy Johns, also sniffing a potential podium position there, and Double OT wants to do anything he possibly can right now to not give up that, because he likes to taste the champagne, but so does Hammer Time and Creamy Johns.
Absolutely, some idiot right now doing very well to maintain that gap, and I think you could tell that he has more pace. Red Hornet getting very close to Shay B here at the end of the first straight, locking him up, having to back off quite a bit. Dr. McShorty looks like he went into the wall ever so slightly at turn number 2 there. Potentially going to have to get another wing from that. Creamy John's getting very close to the back of Hammer Time. Going to look to make a pass any minute here, I'm sure, if he can find the window. Hammer Time showing that he's got weaknesses to be had. If you put him under enough pressure, he makes mistakes like the one that saw Capital Hood and Double OT both passing him at the same time. Yellow flag, sector 2. That is Shay B.
Shay B, yep. Shay B not navigating the castle section too well, but he's still got a ticket to survive and a drive to survive, so still back in it. Racer 33 will be able to gain a lot of time on him.
Racer 33, wow, that was very close. He backed up right across the track in front of Dr. McShorty.
Oops.
Oh, man.
Another victim to the castle. So DRS obviously is now enabled, so the Hammer Time needs it. Creamy Johns need it. Double OT needs to go defensive, because down that main straight you can just see the time gain, 1/10 essentially every almost second coming out there, but plenty of time from Hamilton to defend. But now he's going to have to just consistently think about defending. He doesn't want to turn into a Kimi Räikkönen and have all these drivers get past him in the Alfa Romeo that you can see.
Definitely not. Double OT feeling some of that pressure, ran pretty wide on the apex, but it's gonna get the DRS attack from behind from Hammer Time there. Hammer Time gets past him, but cooks it pretty hard into the turn at the end of the straight. Double OT is going to get a chance, puts his car alongside. Hammer Time takes the apex, floats to the outside of the track. Double OT definitively behind at the moment, late on the brakes, locks it up on the inside. Hammer Time definitely feeling that pressure from Double OT, seeing him in the rearview mirror if he's got it on. That is so new this season, but the red arrow also still there, letting him know that a driver is hot on his heels. Let's see how they navigate the castle section. Hammer Time goes a little wide. That's going to give a little bit of an advantage to Double OT and Creamy Johns as they exit the castle section into the midst of sector 2 here. around turn number 13 comes next. They're going to look for a little bit of a strip stream here. Next DRS zone is on the main straight near the start-finish line. So I think that's where main battles will take place. But until then, it's going to be interesting down turn number 16 as they're going around right now. 17, 18, 19, and 20 are all yet to go before they get to the main straight. That is going to be a tough battle from them. Creamy John's got a really good start off the run. You can see his gap closing already just a little bit to Double OT as they round the corner here. Creamy John's closing ever so much, gets the DRS activation. Along with Double OT gonna look to make a move, move to the inside of Hammer Time. Creamy John's backs off thinking they're gonna get together, and he's right, takes advantage of the position. Creamy John's moves up into fourth. Overtake on Hammer Time, and he's going for Double OT, tries around the outside but can't quite get it. In the meantime, he's gonna lose the position to Hammer Time. Creamy John's with it looking so good.
You cooked it there. You cooked it. Sorry, you said it there. That strategy call. He just lifted a little bit, waited for this little battle between those drivers, exited great, but then lost it on the second turn. So one strategy had paid off, the second strategy did not. But this is not over yet.
Hammer Time clawing that position back from Double OT, gets it again. Now Hammer Time out in front in third. These are big points for these teams this season. I'm looking at my sheet here. We've got Red Bull is in fourth with 67 points. They'd love to get this kind of, oh, excuse me, that's not even Red Bull. That's AlphaTauri. They're in fifth with 58 points. They'd love to see a third place finish here. Double OT and the Alfa Romeo, they're down in seventh. A fourth here would be huge for them. Hammer Time, of course, Creamy John's in that McLaren looking the best of them all, but of course McLaren is in second. So not looking to close that gap right now on Racing Point, but still, really they just need this finish to save the points. Only team right now, with both drivers still in it, is Capita Hood and Dr. McShorty. Renault really liking that result as well because they're sixth. So we've got a lot of drivers from teams that are not positioned super well in the Constructors' Championship looking to take home a nice haul of points here.
Double OT wants to try a move again as they're down the main straight there. He should be close enough as he gets a DRS activation. And Hammer Time might not be Hammer Time as Double OT locks in the brakes in there. And it looks like Double OT has made it stick as long as he keeps it out of the wall. And that's something that Hammer Time is definitely going to come back as well. He has a DRS there. And Hammer Time says, well, you maybe pass me once, but do not pass me twice. And Hammer Time back up into P3. However, it's an interesting strategy call up ahead now as Capital Hood is dropping 3.4 seconds behind our race leader, Some Idiot. But remember, those tire differences are significant between them. It's almost half, as you can see, the tire difference between them. But somehow the Renault driver is not making a gain on the race leader because he's still not quite, he's almost a second a lap slower. So what is the strategy call from Renault to do something about our construction winner at the moment, Some Idiot? They're still comfortably controlling this race.
I don't think they have too much of an option right now. If they try and pit Capita Hood onto a set of softs, one, they've only got 5 laps to make up that deficit, and I don't think that's going to happen with a lot of the midfield on 7 laps old medium. So I don't think pitting is an option for Capita Hood. So he's going to have to try and claw that back on track himself with 7 laps on those mediums. 14 for Some Idiot. They're only rated from Pirelli to go 16 laps. So definitely getting towards the end of what their recommended tire life is. However, if he's got something figured out on board right now, Creamy John's actually going to look to make a pass on Double OT. Creamy John's actually going to get it done pretty handily with the DRS activation here. Double OT slots in behind. Creamy John's is now free to try and go attack Hammer Time for that position. Already putting 7/10 on Double OT. Might be out of DRS range. Double OT, I think, is going to get the DRS activation down the second straight after turn number 2 here, but I don't think it's going to be enough to stave off the inevitable, and that is Creamy John's increasing that gap to 1 second. Creamy John's might be able to do some good things now with Hammer Time. Hammer Time's got to see the driver change behind him and feel that pressure. A little bit of a lockup from Hammer Time, losing about a 1/10 to Creamy John's or so there.
So I've just spoken to the Renault team, and the call is they've given the driver the essentially the 9th gear at the moment in the Renault. So they've enabled that extra engine mode, shall we say, that has been banned, but just quietly they said it hasn't been banned for the Renault team. Well, they're using something, but anyway, so the call has been from the Renault driver there of Capital Hood to crank it up, and he is now. So he's gaining faster there, faster first sector. Let's see what he can do for the second sector. Some idiot is not at the moment, unless he's doing some sort of recovery. He's going to, no, he's actually still pretty well pacing in the second sector. So it's going to be interesting. So those tires may be starting to fall off the cliff. And can we possibly see some idiot in that situation that we saw with Lewis Hamilton in the last remaining laps?
We might see that here because, yeah, we've got 3 laps left. So it'll be 19 laps total on those mediums for some idiot. 3 laps over target. So really it comes down to Capital Hood gaining about a second per remaining lap. That's what it's going to come down to. Capital Hood making up maybe a 10th this lap so far. From 3.3 to 3.2, so looking like he's starting to claw that back a little bit, but 3.2 seconds is a lot of ground to make up, especially when you're talking about a driver such as some idiot.
Yeah, 3 tenths there, sorry, he gained on that last lap, but 3 tenths is not enough when you're 3.2 seconds behind, and that's not so speed, 3.2 seconds behind, but you got to, if you manage to catch that driver, you got to get past as well, so I'm going to keep a close eye on that pace, and still, first sector, the top 2. Now there's nothing between them, but that's not what Capital Hood wants to hear. He needs to get faster and faster and faster. P4 there, that's Creamy Johns. He was the fastest man, essentially, through the first sector, so he's still got a lot more pace there. He was also the fastest man in the last lap there, 142. So he's got something to show, but he's got to get on with it right now.
That he does.
Yeah.
Challenging Hammer Time right now for position number 3 in that DRS zone. Hasn't been able to take advantage of it quite just yet. But I think how you want to use the DRS zones here at Azerbaijan is you want to get within striking distance of the car ahead of you, turn into turn number 1, but maybe not past them, because if you pass them, they get the DRS activation on the second straight. So I think the call here is to get as close as you possibly can, wait until turn number 2, then try and get a better traction out of that, use that DRS zone to your advantage, and hopefully take over that position permanently throughout the rest of the course at that point. So it looks like Creamy John's decreasing that gap to 0.3 of a second behind Hammer Time, a little late on the brakes. Going to use all the track that the stewards give him. Going to swing it wide, going to try and come up behind Hammer Time for the second attack in this DRS zone. A lockup on the front left means he's falling back from Hammer Time, so I don't think he's going to be able to challenge this DRS zone. However, DRS did save him from quite falling out of that 1 second range. He was going to, unless he had it, but now Creamy John's flirting with that 1 second line behind Hammer Time. We'll see if he's able to claw just that little bit back. Hammer Time with a little bit of a lockup into the chicane there. Hurt him a little bit.
Exit as well. Hamilton set the fastest first sector. So he's had the call. He needs to get on with it if he wants to stay on that final podium position. You can see that he's giving it everything he possibly can right now. And when you're lighting up the timing screens, Creamy Johns obviously knows that. He's got that call from Jeff. But when you have a driver ahead of you setting purples, you need to find something extra in the back of that McLaren.
Absolutely. Still, the 710s, yeah, may not be enough. He's doing a good job of maintaining that gap. However, he's got to be looking at the lap boards on the way down the pit lane and seeing he's on lap 24. He's only got a couple laps left to go to make this pass, so he really has to make it happen. Drivers are evenly matched on tires, so it comes down to them now. Tires are not going to play any more of a factor than they otherwise would. Or excuse me, not much of a factor at this point, as they are both the same age. However, Creamy Johns is going to get that DRS activation, gonna creep up on Hammer Time here, get within just enough range to lower that downforce on his front wing, takes a very early apex into turn number 1, has to back out of it. Around turn number 2, Creamy Johns gets a pretty decent exit, but it looks like Hammer Time's still pulling away. Creamy John's turn 2 exit is not as good as it needs to be in order to make the pass at the end of the straight. As you can see, closes the gap a little bit. I think that'll help him for next lap, because Creamy John's at this point last lap, he was about a second behind Hammer Time. So provided he can do the same thing, he'll be within 0.6 next time he goes through that same DRS zone, and that may just be enough to pass him, provided he gets a good enough traction out of the corner. But time will tell, as we have a yellow sector 1 of Dr. McShorty overcooks it on, I think that was the entrance to turn 2 there. Looks like he's got both end plates, so his job is going to be to get those tires cool again so they will actually stick to the road surface. Some idiot right now running a race of his own, now 6.2 seconds ahead of Capital Hood, has increased that gap 3 seconds in the last couple laps. I think part of that had to be a mistake made by Capital Hood, as Capital Hood is currently now 3 seconds closer to Hammer Time than he was before, or Hammer Time's closer to Capita, I should say, coming up behind him. So some idiot right now just really has a chance to put it in Prius mode. Anything under, 30 miles an hour is going to be handled completely by electric. We can just shut the engine off. We can coast for a little bit. Maybe we'll kick the gas engine on if we feel we're running a little low on battery. But other than that, just got to keep his head down, keep it within the lines, and then basically win this race. Some idiot on the last lap here.
That's the call, definitely. I think Capital tried to bring it as much as he can, but I think somebody just kept it very, very cool. Every time Captain Hood there, Capital Hood there tried to bring it there, somebody just kind of like turned up the engine mode and matched the pace, and it's very, very impressive on 20 laps on those medium tires. And you mentioned there, so Shebi had boxed there during this. He's running in P9, the only Red Bull driver, and he's gone to decide to try to get some extra, and then maybe an extra point there and go for the fastest lap. Why not? If you're running at the back, if you can pull it off, you have to do it on this lap, obviously. But it might have been a little bit of a late call there to do that. I don't see anything on the timing board, so Shebi will not be able to get the fastest lap. So some idiot just completely controlling this race from start to end, and really didn't have much of a challenge from the other drivers.
No, not much as far as that goes. I think Shea B is now entering onto his final lap, provided he passes in front of some idiot, which looks like it's going to give him a shot. So Shea B may be able to set the fastest lap yet, but he's really got to go all out.
They're so far back now, 131 off there, so almost at the point of being lapped.
Not quite there yet. Creamy John's going to look to make the battle down the last run of straight here as some idiot crosses the finish line. He wins the race tonight. We've got Capital Hood in second, and Creamy John's looking to battle it for Hammer Time. It's really going to come down to a finish line, a photo finish here, as he pulls out from behind him, is going to try and keep that momentum going. Is he going to be able to do it? Gets the McLaren up alongside, but can't quite get it ahead. Hammer Time takes home third place. Creamy John's within inches of the podium there, but cannot quite get it done. 37 milliseconds between himself and Hammer Time. What a very close race.
Yeah, go further back there too. The Red Bull driver, as you'd mentioned, managed to get across the line there. Now setting the fastest first sector. He wants to get that additional point there. He's going to have to finish last there. Dr. Mashorty will finish in P7. Racer 33 will finish in P8. Penalties do not apply in this race. All the drivers have been clean. So it's up to Shebi to get that extra point on those fresh softs, and we can see what sort of pace that they would have. I'm sure he must be feeling like this car is on rails right now, as to I'm sure what somebody would have felt on that last lap on 21 laps, shall we say, on those mediums.
Racer 33 comes across the lines, solidifies his position in 8th. Racer 33, I think if we were to talk to him, would have mixed feelings about his performance. However, as we talk about so many times here, it's a lot about consistency, and that Racer 33 has in spades. Shaby doing a couple donuts.
He missed the line. He missed the line. He could have potentially had. Yes, he did. He cooked it just before the line. I don't know why. He could have had the fastest lap. I don't know what happened there.
Wow.
Maybe he tried to be a little tricky and too tricky too early.
Just a little bit. Capital Hood getting driver of the day. Very well deserved from him. A fantastic race from Capital Hood. Made all the right calls as far as safety cars, tire strategy, you name it. Captain Hood was on his game today. Just the fact that he was able to start from that far back in the grid, finish in second, only about 7 seconds off the leader, is testament to just how consistent he is going to be as the season progresses. Got a 142.368. That's our fastest lap. Some Idiot comes in first. Captain Hood in second. Hammer Time in third. Creamy Johns in fourth. Double OT in fifth. Red Hornet takes home sixth. Dr. McShorty in seventh. Racer 33 in eighth. And Shay B, the last to actually finish the race, in ninth. We've got Kublai, Rogue, Destiel, Ruda, and Buddha, all with DNFs. Destiel with the unfortunate pit stop onto the intermediate tires threw away his chance to challenge Some Idiot for the top spot. I think he could have definitely had a real chance at a podium, but I think he even had a chance at the top prize tonight. And unfortunately, wrong tire strategy threw that away from him. Rogue and Destiel both getting frustrated as well. Rogue and Kublai both getting frustrated as well with their pace, their performance, and the number of wings they're going through. Both have decided to retire. Other than that, our racers kept it pretty clean. As you can see, no penalties whatsoever. Azerbaijan is one of those tracks that it's pretty hard to get a penalty on without hitting the wall, and Ruda and Buddha both showed us how that was done. So that can be a definite consideration for the lack of time penalties here. But still, normally we get a couple off of pit lane entry or something like that, but not today. We had our racers keep it very, very clean, thanks to them today.
Some Idiot getting the trifecta as well. The pole position, the race win, and also the fastest lap. So, and not to mention, he's clocking up some more frequent flyer miles on his championship standings as well. So domination is there for him, and also an American domination there as well from the top three on the grid there. North American domination, if you go as far down as P9, with only the German driver running in P10, that kind of mixed the Europeans into that domination from North America.
I'm going to see if we can't get our top three drivers into the interview room. I want to talk with Captain Hood, see how he's feeling after that fantastic showing. Biggles, you want to meet me over in the interview room?
Certainly. So we'll run down there. We got some champagne waiting for us, I hope.
Fantastic. I'm sure we do. Let's head over. Welcome, gentlemen. Congratulations, Some Idiot, on the race win. How does that feel?
Thank you. Probably made my job a little bit harder not pitting under that safety car, but you ever heard of the idea of the leader's dilemma?
Where if
yes,
you do pit, everyone else doesn't, and if you don't pit, everyone else does?
Exactly. So it's kind of the idea of, well, if I stay out, they'll all pit, but if I pit, they'll all stay out, and try to get the track position back is going to be difficult. Even at Baku, it can be difficult.
Did you think about dumbing it? Perhaps there's some idiot to like pretend you're gonna try to go in the pits and then just like shoot out last minute.
Problem is the pit entry is so wide. Even if you do that and you somehow fake someone, they're just gonna deke their way out again anyway.
Okay, fair.
So
I just like try to throw some spice in there. You already thought about that.
I gotcha. No, that's a fair idea. Just it's hard to do at Baku.
No doubt about that. So you definitely, were you considering pitting at the end of the safety car there, or was it just never, not something you wanted to do with those tires?
My first thought was going to be stay out. I actually felt really confident on a later part of the stint with the mediums. The medium is surprisingly durable compared to previous games. So.
Yeah, and to cut you off on that, if my telemetry is correct, you showed about 64% wear at the end. Is that correct?
That is about right, actually. Let me. I can quickly check my recording on that.
I hacked into the FIA, man. I hacked into the to your team Racing Point telemetry. Don't tell them, please. By the way, but yeah, I think that's about correct, about 64%. But your tire wear pretty much per lap was pretty well manageable, shall we say? You probably work towards the end there. You're running about 4% per lap, but that was quite comfortable.
Yeah, I definitely was in mind of I was trying to tire save pretty early, pretty often, and I had a number in mind. 4% is a little higher actually than I was expecting on number.
Towards the end, for sure.
I believe it. I believe it though.
Well, yeah, well, according to your race team, but maybe they're hiding something on you. But hey, it doesn't matter because you still got the top step.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Gotta appreciate it. Like last week, if you it's not always going to happen. So just appreciate it when it happens.
Oh, definitely. So yeah, fantastic race tonight, Some Idiot. We look forward to seeing you next week, and we will.
Thank you.
And
Thank
with
Yeah,
you. But
you need somebody. You need to use that all that millions of dollars that you're earning race winning to buy yourself another house or something to store all those trophies you're
yeah,
earning right now.
yeah, I wish, man. If I wanted to make money, I wouldn't be doing it racing. Let's put it that way.
Well, if you get,
Yeah.
you can maybe into the big league soon.
Yeah,
Mixing
no,
up the big guys in esports, you certainly have the pace.
no, I don't. I wish, but I see some of those guys. They're insanely quick. They're easily a lot quicker than me. It would take a hell of a lot of luck for me to score a result there. But I digress. I do want a spare word for Destiel though. He got put on inters under the safety car,
We
which
saw that. But he retired. We would
Yeah,
have loved to see him just go back in again here under the safety car. He would have
that's
boxed
what
again.
I was thinking as well, but it just never happened. I don't know, but spare a thought to him. He got royally shafted by the game, so it's,
Yeah, I think he's actually still in the meeting debrief room right now, probably like smashing the doors as he's exiting the.
well, he's at Alpha. Well, he's at Merck. He's not at Haas.
You know, either way, he's probably still smashing doors, and I'm sure.
But
Tony
I
will.
digress. I digress.
Well, good. Thank you very much for Some Idiot for that. Congratulations on the race win today.
Thank you.
With that, we're going to go ahead and move on to our second place position. Capita Hood, thanks for joining us. Best finish this season, right?
Sure.
I think so. I definitely
forgot how long this season's going on. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, awesome. Great race from you tonight. Were you ever worried at some point that maybe it wasn't going to turn into a top five? I mean, I think even top five would have been good considering from where you started from. What were you going through, or what were you thinking going into the race, pulling up to that starting line, starting kind of mid back field there?
Just hoping to not get any wing damage. I hadn't raced this track no line before, so it was kind of fun trying to figure it out. I got spun early on from one of the Ferraris, unfortunately. So luckily there's a safety car, so I was able to catch back up. But yeah, I feel like I had pretty good pace near the end, so I was able to stay with somebody, even though he had those older tires.
Did you have Jeff as your race engineer? Because you just, as a race engineer myself, not working in the commentary box, your strategy call was the best, I think, overall. Hence the reason why the results were so great for you. You're almost challenging for a win, but you just couldn't quite somehow get that pace to challenge Some Idiot. But yeah, strategy calls were right on, especially as you said after that slow, few problematic race start there. But yeah, just called everything at the right time. So if it was either Jeff or any other race engineer you have, give him a pat on the back, maybe a promotion. But you still had to do the work as a driver.
Yeah, exactly. I try not to listen to Jeff. He gives me a lot of options, but just go with what I think's right. Usually it's just we try to do hards to the end after that first SC, and then luckily the second one came out, and we had the gap to go in for some more mediums, as we saw. Yeah, Some Idiot had to stay out because he was the leader, so he couldn't make that call himself. We had to basically do the opposite of him to make anything work, and unfortunately, almost got within
Did you
DRS
find
there,
you were
but,
working on the pace? You were working on the pace a lot. Like you're averaging around, I think it was 142s, 143s towards the end there. You also had the fastest third sector on lap 15, I believe. So you had some pace there, but you just
That's
couldn't
the data,
you were
wow.
pushing as hard as you could. You could not manage to just bring it to Some Idiot. And you also were aware that he had at least almost double the laps on those mediums.
Exactly, I know. That's the only reason I was able to stay anywhere in the same zip code as him. Basically, because he had much older tires. But yeah, I think the only place I gained on him was through the castle. So that's why I kept trying to get yeet it in there harder and harder each time. But unfortunately, the wing came off with like a couple laps to go. So I ended up holding back and just holding that P2.
Now, Capita, did it just come off, or did you happen to do something to make that come off?
Oh, definitely hit the wall, the castle for sure. Went a little bit too hard.
You were
Yeah,
pushing.
I was
and you
definitely
had
trying to
time
push.
anyway. You had a bit of time there back to P3, so why not? It's worth
Yeah,
the shot, right?
exactly. Yeah. Although I've been known to bin it and ruin my chances at even finishing the race. So
Well,
ended
luckily this
up
time
well.
around, you didn't have to visit the medical center. Instead, you visited the second step on the podium, and you got to taste that sweet champagne.
Much better tasting medicine.
It certainly is.
Absolutely. Well, thank you,
job.
Capita, for coming out to the interview booth today. I think with that, we're going to keep things moving, and we're going to move on to Hammer Time 44 here. Hammer Time, congratulations on the podium today. How do you feel about that one?
Mixed, just very mixed. I got bailed out kind of by the second safety car, because I don't know if I was gonna be able to take the mediums to the end. It was definitely gonna be a bit dodgy. And then on the second restart, I just completely potatoed and let Capita and Double OT by, and then struggled to get back by what's his name, Double OT, and by then I'd like blown all my ERS. So, but then that drag race at the end was pretty sick.
Absolutely. Extremely close. Did you, I know sometimes it can look different than what's happening on the screen before it actually figures the timeout. Were you ahead on your screen, or did it have you behind the McLaren when you crossed the line?
Not by much. I think I was still ahead. Like, we both ran out of ERS. He said he ran out of ERS like when he pulled out from like behind me, and I was like at 1 or 2% or something like that. It was very, very close. But yeah, no, I mean, Capita did good. He seized my mistake. I just drove like not so great today. I like ran a little bit more wings, and I just didn't have the confidence to make it work in the castle section, so that just kind of, defeats the purpose of running a little higher wings. But oh well, I got a podium. I'm happy. So
Absolutely. And with this, it
GG's
actually
to
moves
them.
you up to 4th in our Drivers' Championship. You're from 48 points. You leapfrog Brownie with 50. So it's 48 before the race. So you leapfrog Brownie, who stays at 50. Stoney is going to go up a few, but not as much as you are. So you're definitely in 4th. Might be challenging for 3rd because Destiel with an unfortunate DNF. So how do you feel about that Drivers' Championship positioning this season?
I mean, Brownie did like what, 2 races?
All
So
right,
glad
fair, but
more people like him aren't, racing. That makes me look better than I actually am. But I don't know. I'm just trying to be consistent. And just get. I mean, there's not that many people racing right now, so just want to keep it on track. Get top 4 or 5 at least. I know I can get like podiums at some of my better tracks, but it's basically fighting for not first because.
Well, Hammer Time, if you
Cody's
bring in
looking
some
thin.
champagne up at the commentary box every once in a while, we might help you out with those race results a little bit and accidentally misplace some of those numbers and move you
What
up
do you
further.
mean? I thought the champagne is supposed to be provided by the promoter.
Well, but yeah, so you win and then you provide it to us. Yeah. So
all right. I'll get word to the sponsors, so we'll make some changes.
perfect. Well, thank you all three, Some Idiot, Capita Hood, and Hammer Time, for coming and joining us in the interview room. We always like to get an insight from our drivers, and we will see you all next week, hopefully.
Yep.
Yeah,
Congrats,
hard.
congrats, Capita. Congrats, Cody, and everyone else who made it to the finish line. Good job, guys. I'm gonna hop out.
Congrats,
Have a good night.
congrats to everyone.
Likewise, congrats.
All right, have a good night, guys.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Biggles, that wraps it up. There you have it. That was Baku. Well done, Baku, as they say.
Exciting again, isn't it? Like, even though we didn't have a full grid, we had a full grid of exciting racing, and that's all you need to have, especially when we're up in the comms box. And thank you very much for inviting me up again. Like I said, usually you guys change the door combination lock, and I get stuck down the pit lane, and drivers are trying to run me over during the pits. But this time I felt safe, and I felt safe, obviously, too, in the room with you, as you did an absolutely fantastic job commentating this race once again.
Well, thank you very much for that, Biggles. And as Biggles mentioned, not quite at a full grid, and even while we still get some very exciting races from our No Assists PCD1 League, we would like to see more drivers on the track to add to the action. So if you think you can keep up with our drivers, head over to our website, ppresports.com, and sign up to join the Discord, and we'll get you into a league. Of course, there's a sign-up process, but find more information on our website, and we can get you on track. If that's not your thing and you're looking to get in the booth, maybe outshine Biggles from time to time, you can go ahead and join the Discord through the website as well for that. We've got plenty of positions open. We're always looking for help growing our PPR esports community, so be on the lookout for that. I think that is all we have for you tonight. We'll see you next week in race number 9 of 22. Look for things to heat up as the Drivers' Championship remains very close, along with that Constructors' Championship. Thank you again, Biggles, for joining us, and we hope to see everyone again next week. Thanks, everyone.
Destination unknown.